Leviticus chapter 20 verse 6 says, "If a person turns to mediums and necromancers, whoring after them, I will set my face against that person and will cut him off from among his people."
Magic and witchcraft have been practiced and believed together since the beginning of human civilization. It continues to play an essential religious and therapeutic influence in many contemporary societies. These two, together with religion, are socially created concepts whose boundaries have been debated throughout the Western and world under a variety of religious, cultural, and intellectual circumstances.
Witchcraft, also called witchery or spellcraft, is the use of magical faculties, the art or practices of a witch, sorcery, and magic. In witchcraft, conventional perception is halted, and the witch undergoes exaltation, hypnosis, or euphoria. Overstated accounts of naked rites, orgies, and licentiousness proliferate, and the more dramatic forms of these states, including such wild dances and hypnotic chanting, have become prevalent in widely held beliefs. Whereas magic, on the other hand, has an important role in both primitive and high cultural nations. It can be attributed to primitive ritualistic worship of spirits and was aimed at summoning spirits to yield desirable outcomes for the believers.
In many African traditions, witches are taught to act unintentionally, oblivious of the harm they cause. They are led by a repressible inclination to act malevolently. As a result, it is simple for persons accused of witchcraft who are not aware of wishing anyone ill to believe that they unwittingly perform what is attributed to them. This, together with the effects of suggestion and torture, helped to explain the stunning confession of guilt that had been extensively reported in Africa and elsewhere that are otherwise difficult to understand. However, while witches believe they are unconscious agents, those who have been affected by them too do not.
According to case studies from northern Nigeria Orzer by Cornert 1983 and Diviswart 1992, many witch doctors began to pursue their craft professionally in the 1950s, much like any other business. Reports of witch doctors in Newfoundland, northern Nigeria, claiming to be qualified by more or less obscure diplomas, prominently displayed in their offices together with photographs of well-known cases or confessed or convicted witches initially surfaced during the infamous oil boom of 1970s.
Witch doctor is becoming a profession comparable to that of a trader, attorney, doctor, or local pharmacist. Concerned individuals will commonly seek his or her assistance. Calls from family leaders or village chiefs, on the other hand, are more rewarding. Local chiefs are occasionally called upon to cleanse their villages of witches. This is most likely due to convincing them to do so by higher administrative authorities. Magic and witchcraft concepts are increasingly being used in various races, and Africans' belief in occult creatures has significant implications for regional integration. Furthermore, accusations of witchcraft may be markers of an underlying social complex that is difficult to establish using multiple methodologies.
The people who practice sorcery are referred to as mangkukulam. They frequently do it for vengeance or to harm individuals. Sorcerers or mangkukulam can be found in the Philippines' rural areas or provinces. Kulam is a traditional belief in black magic, sorcery, or witchcraft. This was often accomplished through the performance of ritual or ceremony. They employ items such as voodoo doll, a needle, body parts, or the victim's things, and the recital of a Latin spell. People have asked them to do it in exchange for money. People who wish to exact revenge on their adversary through the use of black magic. Six types of sorcery, each performed by a distinct sort of sorcerer. The most popular sort of sorcery used by Cebuano is the barang. This method involves the sorcerer sending insects or animals into the victim's body in order to cause the individual pain. These animals or insects will not act unless the sorcerer commands them to. If the sorcerer wants for it, the extreme end of all six sorts of procedure outlined can be death.
The relationship between religion, magic, and witchcraft in colonial South Africa examines the historical elements that favor the category of religion as well as the numerous effects of the social and legal imposition of Western epistemologies on colonized communities whose practice compressed magic and were therefore considered to be equivalent to witchcraft. In addition, the study looks at the influence of Christian and Enlightenment philosophy on category development. African societies that colonies had contact with provided abundant proof that magical traditions had persisted. The two main ethnic groups that were the first occupants of large portion of pre-colonial South Africa are known as Khoisan in order to convey their beliefs in a spiritual cosmos where good and evil coexisted and where people, nature, and the spirit world were in the constant communication. The Khoisan people use stories, narratives, and ceremonies.
The Catholic Church frequently accused many different types of women using magic to bind the passions of their clients, neighbors, friends, or even family. Guido Guerrero's book Binding Passions, Tales of Magic, Marriage, and Power at the End of Renaissance contains numerous examples of prostitution, concubinage, love magic, renegade clerics, a social hierarchy that largely overlooked the victimization of lower class women, and a vision of sex as fitting within a passive active dialect that easily slid into violence.